Do I feel like an old person in the trans community? This is kind of a complicated question because, like, I'm 21 right now, so I'm physically young, and I'm like kind of young to be how far I am in my transition. But in trans years, how old am I? I'm pretty old, I think, to be honest with you. The fact that I started at 17 with my getting on hormones, I had my gender marker and my name change also at 17. At 18, I had my top surgery. So like, I got pretty quickly done with some stuff. So there's that. And like, I'm farther than a lot of other people who are older than me in my transition. Obviously, like, I know I still have a ways to go for my transition. For me personally, that's just how I am. I want that stuff. I want certain other things done just for me. Everyone else doesn't have to. But I feel like I'm an old person in the trans community because I'm like, yeah, back in my day, because I transitioned so early and young and kind of like, if you kind of like in a quick way, because I'm already 4 years on hormones and I'm barely in my 20s. So there's that to me. That makes me kind of feel like an older person in the trans community, because like, I'm probably like, this is a bad analogy kind of like, but I'm like, I kind of went from the baby of just knowing, and then soon after the name, so that's like toddler maybe. Then let's just say, let's just call it social transitioning is a little bit older than toddler. Child, let's just say, this, like I said, this is a bad analogy. Then we scoot to teenager, which can be hormones. And let's just say top surgery is like young adult and like all that stuff. So I'm just like, and like young adult is also name change, standard marker change. So like young adults, that can be like, so kind of, I might be in the middle ages in trans years if you go through my weird analogy, because like, we can just say middle and old age is like, if you guys want hysterectomy or bottom surgery or whatever, I guess like middle/old age. And so like, fully transitioned. And so that's kind of like my way of thinking of it. It's really weird, but it kind of makes sense to me, since when I'm 27, I'll be 10 years. So like, that's gonna be crazy, because that's just very weird. So before I'm 28, 10 years on hormones. That's just insane. I'm like, yeah, that's so far out in the future, but still, that's insane. It's only, what, like 6 years away? But yeah, like, that's, whoa. It's like, I kind of am old because I've been on hormones for like almost half a decade. Just that alone makes me feel older than a lot of people in the trans community and all that stuff. But like, I'm decently far in my own transition of how I wanted to change, like top surgery, hormones, name, gender marker, and all that stuff. So like, I do feel old in the trans community just because of those things and how far I've been transitioning. Like when you're past like a decade, you're really old in the trans community, it seems. So, and I'm slowly approaching that. So that's kind of why I do feel old when I'm considering being like in the trans community. I feel old, whereas in reality, obviously, I'm not that old. So there's that. So yeah, I kind of feel old in the trans community.